Welcome to this session, Turnkey SecOps, Power Smarter, Faster Operations to Outpace Adversaries. My name's Max Zeumer. I'm the Director of Product Marketing for the Fortinet SOC platform. And in this session, we're going to talk about and walk through how organizations can deploy broad, ready-to-operate SecOps capabilities, not with massive teams or heavy customization, but with integrated workflows, automated threat handling, and embedded intelligence from day one. To ground this discussion, we'll use the Black Basta ransomware outbreak, a real-world threat that's still active targeting organizations worldwide. Black Basta is a ransomware as a service operation. It uses stolen credentials, known vulnerabilities, and legitimate tools like PowerShell, WMI, and scheduled tasks to move laterally and prepare for encryption. The campaign avoids traditional malware signatures and instead mimics insider activity to stay below the radar and stealthy. Now, we'll look at how detection and analysis become critical points to identifying and responding to that very activity. We'll break down what makes these signals really difficult to catch and identify, especially when you are a lean team, limited resources, and we'll show you what's required from a platform to turn telemetry into fast and informed action without adding more complexity in your day-to-day operations. So let's talk about the stage that often decides how the rest of the attack plays out: detection and analysis. This isn't the beginning of the breach. It's at the point where teams either spot the threat and move on or miss it and lose ground. You might see unusual login behavior from one log source, a suspicious PowerShell event from another, but without having a unified view, without having correlation, those events they don't tell you necessarily that you're under attack. And for most teams, the burden of making those connections in time is extreme. It's massive. Black Basta is a perfect example. It exploits common weaknesses such as unpatched systems, stolen credentials, and low visibility. When alerts are raised, the attackers have moved across the network. They've exfiltrated data or detonated payloads. And at this stage, security teams face distinct operational and detection challenges, whether it's identifying unauthorized activity, stopping malicious payloads, or detecting the stealthy lateral movement. These attackers have become surgical, and this phase determines how quickly a threat actor can escalate or be stopped. So when we look at the needs of, in particular, a lean security team, they need visibility that spans across their systems, not just across screens. The telemetry, it has to be unified, not manually cross-referenced where you're context switching across tools. 2, you need to have the threat context built into your workflow. You need to be able to follow the threat and the detection. Having detection logic and behavioral mapping is really needed to highlight these threats, not just generate more alerts and fatigue and burnout. But of course, the next key component is having automation and AI built for scale, and it's going to enable you to have consistent, fast, speedy operations. Let's talk about the Fortinet Turnkey SecOps platform and how it brings things together to detect and respond to early stage exploitation like Black Basta ransomware. Resource-constrained teams need that unified platform that connects the dots fast. That's precisely what FortiAnalyzer, our turnkey security operations platform, provides. As the Fortinet Security Fabric data lake, FortiAnalyzer provides a single platform that unifies the collection of logs, alerts, and configuration data across your core security stack. We anchor this around the first line of defense, your next-gen firewall, FortiGate, SASE, for securing connectivity between your branch and data centers, ZTNA for identity-based segmentation. See, it offers a powerful, streamlined entry point to scale an organization's security operations. Previously, this wouldn't have been attainable because many folks don't have the time to build out these configurations. FortiAnalyzer then provides broad coverage for both on-premise and cloud environments from, again, that single platform with ready-to-deploy capabilities that deliver complete control, giving you centralized visibility, advanced threat detection, and automated incident response that increase an organization's agility and ability to rapidly expand security operations coverage and use cases that improve threat management efficiency and their overall effectiveness without increasing overhead, without adding that day-to-day complexity. So let's talk a little bit more about the Turnkey SOC platform, because over the past few years, we've significantly evolved and enhanced FortiAnalyzer from a logging and analytics tool to a comprehensive modern security operations platform. Let's take a closer look at what makes FortiAnalyzer different and why it uniquely positioned to help lean teams handle fast-moving threats. See, FortiAnalyzer, it's going to continue to consolidate the vast data sets while bringing together all your first line of defense information, all that data across the endpoint, cloud, and network. And so that's going to reduce alert fatigue that bogs down investigations. That's where alerts go by and they're missed by enabling teams to get ahead with this one point of reference, no longer context switching. See, it's also backed by native FortiGuard threat intelligence, which is enhanced by really intuitive threat topologies and dashboards. So if you're new to this, it's easy to understand. And when a new threat emerges, like Black Basta, an outbreak detection content is pushed directly into FortiAnalyzer. They don't need to worry about the resources because it's simplified and we're focused on pre-configuring as much content as possible. It's a key part of our strategy to support customers in focusing on what matters the most and not being bogged down with configurations, deployments. We have automation that is built in, not bolted on. With SOC automation, FortiAnalyzer includes XDR, SIM, SOAR capabilities, and monthly updated content packs that have pre-configured playbooks, log parsers, response handlers, and so much more ready to activate from day one. And then there's AI assistance, FortiAI, the embedded Gen AI and Agentic AI assistant. This isn't an overlay. FortiAI is woven into the platform, helping analysts understand incident scope, root cause, and, of course, gain recommended response steps as well as actions. It writes summaries, it links data, it gives analysts the intelligence they need instantly, leveraging the telemetry of the platform. Finally, FortiAnalyzer, it supports a lightweight deployment, a flexible deployment across appliances, VM, or cloud, giving customers of all sizes the power to scale detection and response horizontally and operate with agility across a hybrid infrastructure. So let's talk about and look at what's new, why it matters in the context of advanced threats. First, we have added on FortiTip, a threat intelligence platform integrated and expanding FortiAnalyzer's reach into threat intelligence processing. It enriches correlation with indicators and behavior signatures from across the Fortinet security fabric and external sources, bringing threat context much deeper into the analytics workflow. Next, we'll introduce geo-alerting and anomaly detection, including impossible traveler detections, brute force login tracking, and abnormal access attempts across ZTNA. We've also focused on expanding a bunch of integrations, such as FortiEDR, which adds endpoint response capabilities, pulling enriched data, isolating hosts, and triggering remediation actions directly from one analytics pane. And one of the big things is a recent launch of event suppression to reduce the noise. allowing the platform to automatically suppress repetitive alerts that aren't relevant, letting analysts focus on what's new and changing and what's most important. Finally, we always continue to expand analytics reporting, including NIST compliance reports and FortiSASE VPN traffic visualizations, giving SOCs better insight into their posture movement and risk exposure. Let's now bring all of these capabilities and components of the platform back to the Black Basta ransomware outbreak and discuss how they can be utilized in this scenario. See, threat-centric correlation with automated content is a key component. Security teams, they receive event handlers, those correlation rules and reporting templates that are directly from FortiGuard Labs, which is with our data scientists, threat hunters staying on top of emerging threats. They deliver these content packs, which are deployed without any scripting. When breakouts like Black Basta are flagged, that detection logic, the key reporting components, those capabilities then are instantly live, which saves you a lot of time around configuration. You can focus on just responding to the attack. And the next key element to this is having guided investigations, especially when it comes to AI assistance. Now, once a detection is triggered, FortiAI comes in to deliver instant air support with context-rich summaries. It will further map your indicators, even ensure it's aligned to the MITRE ATT&CK framework, surfacing just the relevant events and guides the analysts through how they should prioritize and respond to this particular attack. Now, let's talk about having the cross-threat intelligence with our FortiTip solution. At the same time as all this is going on, FortiTip is pulling in the external threat intelligence feeds and internal indicators, enriching the analyst's view of the scope and supporting deeper threat hunts. This is the kind of response needed to match the speed and complexity of campaigns like Black Basta. And it's all orchestrated from one platform with a bunch of pre-configured capabilities, so lean teams can get ahead and not be bogged down. In this next section, we're going to introduce a demo where we'll walk through real-world examples similar to the Black Basta ransomware outbreak detection. From the initial detection all the way through the use cases that I had touched on earlier.
Welcome to the Turnkey SOC platform, FortiAnalyzer. I'm going to walk you through how it brings together threat intelligence, built-in automation, and AI assistance to help lean teams optimize and manage high-stake threats like Black Basta ransomware, which we've discussed throughout today's session. Now, I'm stepping into the role as the analyst, and the first thing I'm doing as I start my shift is moving to the SOC dashboard. This is feature designed with analyst workflow in mind, and that's a huge part of our strategy to deliver operational platforms that are ready on day one. No steep learning curve, intuitive, and interactive. If I'm covering for a teammate, continuing investigation, trying to determine what to prioritize, what to focus on, I can see everything I need initially at first glance. First, the number of high severity incidents. I can always expand into those panes. Same thing with outbreak alerts, compromised host, affected users. In addition to that, as I go over to the events, these are all categorized by their severity, and you can understand the flow of them. As well as our incident categories, we see several unauthorized access, one denial of services, and 18 malicious code related incidents. So that's quite a number. And this is what the team's been working on. Some of these are under analysis, response, and remediation. As we get to the bottom here, this shows the flow of events and incidents from everything that I'm logging, okay? Keep in mind that in today's example, it's predominantly referencing FortiAnalyzer, the Fabric, FortiGate, but we integrate with the entire Fortinet Security Fabric platform. That means we can log pretty much from any product that we offer, NDR, FortiNDR, FortiEDR, FortiClient, FortiMail, etc. Now, if you have third-party vendors that you subscribe to, let's say for additional threat intelligence, like Virus Total, well, you can actually incorporate this connector in as easy as one click. So that's not an issue. All right, now I'm oriented with all the information, and I notice we have a number of outbreak alerts, and one of my colleagues mentioned I should explore a couple. One being the Black Basta ransomware. So this is our repository that lists every single one that's been published by FortiGuard Labs, and I'm opening it right now. Immediately it showcases who is it impacting, how many folks. 12 of the 16 critical infrastructure sectors, including healthcare organizations, have been attacked. So if I fall in that bucket, I am hunting this threat. I am looking everywhere for this threat. It showcases over here the common CVEs that are exploited. Additional background in case I wasn't as familiar, but we are today. This is RAS, ransomware as a service. It's known for exploiting native tools like PowerShell fast, and it avoids detection. On the right-hand side, you'll see the threat radar scoring. It evaluates the severity based off of FortiGuard telemetry, FortiRecon scoring, exploit prediction, and known in the wild behavior. Over here, you'll notice the threat intelligence pane. As I expand that, we can see what the over 500 FortiGuard Labs threat researchers are continuously analyzing related to this global threat activity. And that includes threat actors, TTPs, IOCs, related vulnerabilities. Scrolling down, I can see the latest IOCs, again, related to Black Basta, and I'm armed with additional information. For example, not only what those indicators types are, the status, whether they're active, whether they're inactive, and so on. On the right-hand side, I can see the last 30-day trend line of global threat activity. Is it up? Has it increased? Has it decreased? And I get an abundance of information, but on the back end, we're also helping you with action. We're not just giving you analytics. For instance, if I go to the event handlers, you can uncover these detection rules designed to surface the Black Basta outbreak automatically downloaded via our detection content packs. It's mapped to the MITRE framework, and we do the same with correlation rules, playbooks, third-party log parsers, and so much more. So let's start expanding to the investigation. And I'm going to actually use our handy dandy FortiAI Assist. It's embedded throughout the entire platform. This is not just some chatbot. It actually leverages all of FortiAnalyzer's capabilities, the telemetry, and I want to conduct some investigations. I want it to surface some of these critical security events that could be related to threats, malicious detections. So at this initial glance, we see quite a bit. We saw some botnet communication detection across geos, but what made me really concerned that popped up was the dark side ransomware detection. I want to find out more information about that. I wanted to conduct some root cause analysis and expand into patterns, vulnerabilities exploited, methods that it was able to use for infection, correlate any relationships between events, sources, IPs, affected endpoints. Let me throw that prompt in so it can continue to this investigation and begin triaging a bit more, coming up with that root cause analysis. Look, I'm being very specific here because I'm asking it to do a whole lot of action. As it executes these queries, as it goes through these log statistics, the critical severity, it's filtering this information out. And now it's exposing everything I need to know around the correlated events involving compromised hosts, botnet communications, the vulnerabilities that have been exploited, and the methods of infection, phishing attacks, exploit kits, malicious payloads, and here are the affected endpoints. So it, of course, gives me the additional suggestions, but what I would like to do is have it generate several incidents where it groups all the information it just uncovered together, and we can expand investigations. We can attach reports, have timelines, and pass it off to some of the senior team members. So let's ask it to do exactly that, formalizing the findings into incidents, allowing for structured follow-up, uh, and get the appropriate stakeholders involved for further investigation. What it will do is pull all of the information together in another layer where it gets even more detailed, segmenting it by incident. And what this will do is I may be focused on other investigations or other tasks, or maybe my shift has ended. This will have event handlers, detection rules automatically created to monitor these specific critical threats, and it will be triggered based on certain compromised hosts and botnet activity. And it will notify the team even if I'm not here or if I'm doing something else, so I can breathe. With that said, let's do a quick recap. I got operationally ready from the dashboard, identified high-profile threats via outbreak alerts, and surfaced through FortiAI Assist. We further investigated and generated incidents, detection rules, and further elements. This is what turnkey SecOps looks like, from the threat to action all in one place. Let's jump back to the presentation where I'll uncover some of the outcomes we've seen customers yield with our turnkey SOC platform, FortiAnalyzer.
We've seen customers gain visibility faster, scale detection across more assets, and respond to threats in minutes, not weeks. The outcome, turnkey SecOps, it's designed to deliver scalable operations, precision detection, and AI-assisted response all out of the box. When we take a quick look at the value that our customers get, is that they're able to have a plug-and-play solution that gives them enterprise SOC capabilities and protection. And they're able to do this really quickly. With that said, thank you so much for joining this track. I'm going to pass it off to my colleague who will continue to walk you through the journey of this outbreak detection.